Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of Backpacks and Stories. I'm back again with.
Santiago, yes, back again. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
How are you doing, my clean shaven friend?
Very good, very good. Yes, looking fresh. That's something that goes. I don't know, with my personality or me just getting bored. Every couple of months, I just change my hairstyle, my beard style. I don't know.
You,
I
you
get
look
bored very easily.
you look like a real New York gangster now.
Yes. I only need the Italian accent now. You understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna start this podcast. We're gonna do it by my own terms. Do you understand?
And today we are both drinking mate, finally.
Yes, for those watching the video, yeah. Argentinian culture spreading all around the globe.
Mhm.
Australia and Canada linked by by a cup and a silver straw.
So, this is going to be the last episode of the year. We'll just do a quick reflection on that. How has 2024 been for you?
2024 was a really nice year. Really nice. I think I work on my patient. This was a year to work on my patient. Um, you say patient, yeah?
Patience.
Patience, yes, my patience. Um, because this was the first year studied in Australia, and I got next year as well. So I couldn't work as much as I would like to. I couldn't save the money that I would like to in different conditions. That's why it was about the patience, um just to
Just to
understand that
understand.
different times. And yeah, it went well. A lot of simple life. I Most of the year I live in a nice house. I did a lot of gym routine. Was a healthy year. So yeah, positive, quiet, positive year. What about you?
Yeah, I think there have been some things, there have been some ups and downs as always. Um, I had my first experience living in a non-English speaking country, before had just been passing by, traveling. But this year, living in Colombia, it was a very different experience.
Mm.
And then coming here to Canada, staying in this place for so long. So this year has been a very, very much like stay still kind of year for me, and try and focus on some of the things that you mentioned, which are going more or less. But I
Yeah.
think 25 is going to be a year that I can achieve a lot of my goals, and a year of movement, a lot more movement.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. For me, I know now I'm in the middle of this project, these studies in Australia. It's a 2 year course. First year is officially done. And yeah, so next year is going to be quite similar to this year. Actually 2024 was very special in one topic for me. Very I had a great improvement in my personal life. So for me, for the people listening, I'm 32 years old, and from since I was born, well, all my life until next year, I never got used to driving a car. I never got my own car, never drove, nothing. It was I don't know, it wasn't part of my needs
Mhm.
all my life. I always use public transport or share a car with someone, or something was there to help me out. But this year was the first year in my life that I bought my own car, and I drove by myself, and all the things that I think most of the people do when they're like 18, 19. Driving in the highway, in the freeway. I don't know, getting used to traffic, getting used to having a car and all the responsibilities that means, like taking care of it and all that. So in that sense, was a very very different year for me. So I'm very proud of my own growing in that little area. Most of the people, again, they take it for granted because it's, I don't know, it's just that everyone is used to start driving when they're more or less teenagers, but wasn't my case. But yeah, I got it done this year, so very happy. Didn't have any problems or crashes or anything or fines or anything. So yeah, that was something very, maybe the most positive thing when we talk about like personal development, like personal growing. Even if it's a little thing for most of the people, for me it was something very good.
No, it's a big thing. Congrats on that. But I must say that this is also news to me. I had no idea that you bought a car.
I think I never mentioned it. Yeah, that's true.
You never told me. When did you buy
That's
it?
crazy. I think I bought it at the mid-year, somewhere around June. I think June or May.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? So the first month
Hmm.
I didn't speak about it because I was so nervous, mate. Like I was unsure. I thought I was going to fuck it up. I thought eventually, like like the typical, you post a story, you show off your car and this and that. Um, I wasn't sure of myself to make the whole year, without a problem. And so that's why I kept it quiet. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell anyone. And then, like three months after I bought the car, and I understood that it was going well, I started talking about it a little bit, but it was never like the news. Hey everyone, look at this! I finally, I kept it for myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. That's really good for you.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thank you. It felt good. Yeah, yeah.
I think for me, I would have to obviously have to say about this project. Your
Of course.
episode 22. You've been here from the start, so it's going well. I'm happy with how it's going, and it's been so nice to catch up with people.
Yeah, yeah. I've been following your episodes, listening to the stories of your guests. Super interesting. And yeah, I also, yeah, I notice uh like you gaining trust, confident, like how do you handle the conversations and this? How do you lead the podcast, every episode? It's very good to see you're growing in that subject as well. And the
Thank
fact that we spoke about this, I think on the first episode that we shared back in my house in Argentina. I don't even know what was that, 2022, 2023. I don't know when it was.
you. Last February.
Yeah, but oh no, not that one, the one before. Was it? Yeah.
No, no, no. I saw you last February in your house in Buenos Aires, and this year I saw you in Miramar in
And then
January.
the one before.
One before, no,
No,
no.
wasn't it?
The last time I saw you before that was in Noosa. We didn't cross paths again in Australia after Noosa, and that
But in
was
Buenos Aires, you came to visit me twice.
not last year and this year. And one
Last year, yeah, last year and this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember in my backyard, in the backyard, yeah, in the house of Buenos Aires, talking about the podcast.
Mhm.
That was good. And now you got all these episodes, you got the year done.
Yeah,
Very good, very good.
big things for 2025, hopefully.
Yes, yes, very good. So Christmas special, yeah, Christmas special, New Year special. We here to talk about some adventures, yeah, some
Hmm.
stories.
You want to kick it off with a story?
Yes. Yeah. So to everyone that is listening to me for the first time, I've been traveling around Australia from 2018 until, sorry, 2019 until 2022, 2023, and then I settled in Perth, where I live now, and living and studying, doing more of a normal life. But from 2019 until 2022, I got a couple of stories that I would like to share with you. And I'm just gonna start right away. My first month in Australia, 2019. This must have been April or May. I was in Manly. Manly is a little town at the north of Sydney. So you take the ferry, 20 minutes, and you go to Manly. Beautiful, lovely, lovely beach town. A lot of surfing, a lot of beach life. Lovely place. So that was the first place I lived in Australia. So I was in this hostel. Funny thing, the hostel was like at least 85% Argentinians. I was out of I didn't know this. I went to this random hostel, and then I found out everyone's from my country. That was a surprise. And so there was a guy from the Netherlands staying in the hostel, an older guy. He was latest 40s, starting the 50s. So pretty older guy compared to everyone that was in the hostel. Everyone was mid 20s, early 30s, and then this guy, I think he was just traveling. Anyways, so he was quite of a specialist in the scuba diving. Very good at scuba diving. He had all the equipment and everything you need to go snorkeling. I said scuba diving. It's a snorkeling, not scuba diving. Snorkeling. So he was once a week, twice a week. He was going to the shore in Manly to do some snorkeling, see all the reefs, the fish life. Everything's beautiful out there. And every week he was taking one of us from the hostel, just random people, becoming friends, and then taking them there, show them around. One week it was my turn. So we went together. We go on the coast of Manly, just nothing. 10 minutes walking, nothing from the hostel to the water. We got there. We get all the gears on us, and then we go for the snorkeling. Beautiful, beautiful. This is literally just next to the walking path. You just start snorkeling there, and it's just Discovery Channel, mate. It's just beautiful, full of life, full of reefs, fish everywhere, starfish, anything. And it's just like literally the minute you start snorkeling, you got all that. So beautiful, man. Very lovely, lovely. The thing was, so we start swimming into the ocean, still on the very short, just still on the shore, but we going deeper. And then we start seeing reef sharks. We see one reef shark, then another one, couple of reef sharks. To those that doesn't know what's a reef shark, it's not a proper shark. It's about 2 meters, 2 meters and a half. It's a big boy. That's a proper shark. A reef shark is a meter and a half. It's like a baby shark. Meter and a half, a meter, way smaller than an adult. And they don't have the teeth. It's only like a rough, they have a rough edge, but they haven't developed the teeth yet. Anyways, so they start showing around 1, 2, 3, 7, 10. At one point it's just full of sharks. You can look at the bottom of the water, and you can see the circle the sharks do when they swimming around.
Mm.
Unreal, unreal. And in the middle of this whole situation, so we're both swimming, doing our own thing, doing the snorkeling. In the middle of this situation, he comes to me on the surface of the water, and he goes, So I got this bag of fish, and I'm trying to feed them, but I've been struggling. I think I'm too big for them. They're getting scary of me. So you wanna try and go feed the sharks. So out of nowhere, out of the blue, he goes with this proposition to give me half a fish, and then just to go feed the sharks, like if we're talking about dogs on the street or pigeons. And I'm enjoying the whole situation, overexcited. And I can't say no. I'm in the middle of the water.
Hmm.
He's handling me a fish. It's like, what you want me to say? No, I can't say no. I'm already too deep into this. I don't think too much about it. Grab the fish, go under the water, extend my arm, and then I'm just waving, slowly waving the half fish, and then the sharks are, starting to come near me, bit by bit, bit by bit. And every time there was one shark more confident than the rest that he was actually coming for the fish, swimming next to me, I was pulling back my arm because I was too bloody scared, mate. We're talking about feeding a wild shark. Even if it's a small shark, still a bloody shark. Can catch your feet, your finger, or whatever, your arm. I don't know, your hand. Anyways, so I struggled a couple of times. I can uh, pull together, and I can do it for two, 3 times until I said, okay, so I'm not doing this or I'm doing this. I can't be in the middle. I can't be struggling in the middle. So I just stopped thinking, and for me to be able to do it, I jump into the conclusion that if I lose a finger, if I lose a hand, that's on me. That's it. I take the responsibility. Yes, I said to myself, yeah, okay, that's it. It's my fault. If something happens, it's not gonna be these guys' fault. It's my fault. That's it. Stop thinking. And then I left my arm there with my hand and the half a fish swinging. And then finally, the shark that was coming along, he ended up coming very close to me, very slowly. He took the fish, he grabbed it with the hand, he grabbed it with the mouth, like smoothly, so smoothly, so calmly, so slow. When he took the half a fish, he was going swimming away from me so slowly as well, that gave me time to actually stroke the shark on the top, touch it with my hand, touch the top of the shark, and then he slowly swam away with the fish on his mouth. Wow, mate. That was my first month. That happened during my first month in Australia, feeding a wild shark. I couldn't believe it, mate. I'm still, that happened, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I can still feel the excitement of the unreal situation. And the thing was, this is not, these are the, when something like this happens, unannounced or not planned, you know, it's just out of your mind.
Hmm.
You can't believe it. Because I think that if you have time to prepare yourself, then it's another thing,
You
you're
start to get
ready, you're
anxious.
expecting. Yeah. So that's my first story. And I think that just like that mark my way in this country. With all the experience I had, it was all like this.
Hmm.
Everything sometimes was just normal life, like it is now, just normal life, simple life, it's okay. But then some other times, wonderful things happen. And it didn't become an accident or like a tragedy or something like that you know
Do you think this is one of the things that brought you closer to nature and animals?
um yes, yes, definitely. I always felt a connection with nature, and this was like a reaffirmation,
Hmm.
to reaffirm that. Yeah, I do feel like that with animals in general. Yeah, 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 yeah. Something that I really enjoy, that I appreciate, and I always seek for this connection. I do have other stories following up that are still related with nature. I think most of my stories are always linked with nature somehow.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best experiences. I think I have a not too similar, a little bit similar. Um, so I haven't seen many snakes in Australia. When I got there, you think, oh, you're gonna see a snake all the time. That's what the way everyone makes it sound. You think about Australia, there's snakes everywhere, there's spiders everywhere. In reality, unfortunately, it's not like that. You don't always see these. It depends where you are, but if you're,
Yeah,
it's not super common.
yeah.
So I remember the first one I saw was on the Great Ocean Road, just a little copperhead. The next one I saw was a python. I was on South Stradbroke Island, and it was this really big python. And at this point, I think I went over to touch it, but I was still very cautious because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know much about them. But then the third time I saw a snake. So I'd been traveling with a German couple, and we were at Rainbow Beach. We'd stayed there for about nearly 2 weeks in total. And one day we were making the rounds of all the things that you could do in the area, and there was a little lake or lagoon or something. So we went there. It wasn't the most beautiful place in the world, but there were quite a lot of people around, and we were just walking around the edge. And I see something coiled up, and it was a little snake. Well, a little snake. So I shout, guys, there's a snake. So they come over, and because they were ready to leave, but I thought I want to have a little look to see if I'm always curious to see if there's something, if we can find something. And then there was this snake there on the ground, and I just started to pick it up, and we ended up. They were a bit cautious at first, and it was a big snake, but I think it had just maybe eaten something. And because I recognized that it was a python, and I knew at this point that pythons weren't so dangerous, I said, okay, well, I have to try. I have to try picking it up. So between the three of us, we picked up this 2 meter long python,
Oof.
and but it was so cool, just like that's a real Australian experience, just going into the bush, seeing something laying there and picking it up. We tried to be as gentle as we could, um, and I think it was okay. I think that it didn't feel too. Hopefully, it didn't feel too stressed or anything. But that was a really cool experience, just seeing something in its natural habitat and saying hello for 5 or 10 minutes and then letting it be after.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I think you have those opportunities when you're traveling. Maybe not in like the big cities, Melbourne or Sydney, but anywhere you go in the bush, mostly Queensland, or even Tasmania. But for the pythons, I would say, yeah, in Queensland, I had the chance to see a couple of those, and there was a time I was living in the bush, yeah, just outside Brisbane, with a couple, and I had my own hut, my own little house, and at the at the top of the door there was a python living there. It was wrapped there,
Mhm.
and just leave it at the top of the, like, literally just to access to the house. I have to go below the snake, and I remember the first few nights I was scared of going under a snake, and then you give me 2 3 days, and then that was it. We were just roommates sharing the house with a snake like nothing, only in Australia.
Only in Australia. Only in
Yeah.
Australia. No, I think I think with a lot of these animals, people think that they're so dangerous. Snakes and sharks. If they see you, they're gonna kill you. But it's not. We're not their natural prey. Sometimes
Exactly.
just happen.
Yeah. And what you said about the snakes that are not you don't often see them in the country, that is true. I only saw pythons.
Hmm.
Any venomous snake, I haven't seen any in these 6 years. You know, in Tasmania you got the brown snake. In Queensland, I think brown snakes is it's also around.
I think brown snakes are in the whole country, no?
Yeah, yeah, they're in the whole country. I think so. But they've been, they've been almost exterminated, or they must be living only deep in the national parks.
It's really curious because I've been in some places, like in some farms. When I was living in Childers, there were people who told me that there were. I think there was one with a Japanese name. I can't remember what they're called. But they're also really. Let me have a look. Venomous snakes in Australia. You find them on farms, that's for sure. And I think someone who is living and working on a farm is going to be way more likely to see these on a more frequent basis. But I
Yeah.
think it was a taipan, maybe an inland
Okay.
taipan. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But mostly you're going to see pythons, and pythons don't attack people. It's very rare.
Yeah. 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 Crazy. Crazy in a good way. I remember the first time I saw one, I was, intimidated, scared, or like threatened by the snake. It's all your perception.
Hmm.
It's all your perception. Yeah.
And they said
And
creatures.
sorry.
They're such beautiful creatures.
Oh yeah, the patterns, the
Mhm.
pythons they have. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. It happened also at the time of the when I fed the shark. Around that time, it happened as well. I was visiting all the national parks you got around in Sydney. Sydney is full of national parks, like bits of them, different areas with rainforest
Mhm.
within the city, within the center of the city. It's beautiful because you can have like all these big buildings and everything you have in the city, and then you just walk a couple of blocks, and then you have a rainforest.
Mhm.
Like just like that. So I did most of the national parks that they have in the city. I've done them all. One of them, um, I got lost. I got lost for like half an hour. That was scary. I was following. So I went to this one that wasn't that popular. It wasn't that visited by people,
Mhm.
and I was following this walking path. And as I was walking farther into it, the path was getting weaker and weaker, more difficult to see, and I was getting deep into the bush.
Mhm.
And I was at one point I was just following some sort of way. But then I got to the point that I realized that there was no path. Hasn't been a path in a long time.
Yeah.
When I'm look around, I look back, I look around, there's no path. There wasn't a path ages ago. So I'm
Okay.
completely lost in the bush. There was no signal. I take my phone, no signal. And so the thing that saved me, I don't know if it saved me, but made things very easy to get back to where I was at the beginning. I just used, Google Maps. You
Mhm.
got the shade when you take the direction. You move your phone around and you see the shade of the direction. You know what I mean?
The shade of the direction.
Yeah, there's like a blue shade towards the direction that you move in Google Maps.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, when you have to take left or right, you can move your phone, and then you'll see the shade going left or right.
I mean, like the little arrow.
Not an arrow. No, no, no. Your point, your GPS, you will
Okay.
see like which direction you're moving.
Yeah, I think I know. I think I know.
So I used that to find my way back.
Hmm.
Yes, luckily, by a miracle, there was no snakes, there was no spiders. You know, there's the red how do you call it? The red back. Is it
Yeah,
red back? Yeah,
back spiders.
little spider. You get bitten. You got like 40 minutes to get to the hospital. You're dead. Um, yeah. That was really reckless. Of me to doing that, to get into that situation. That was the only thing that happened. But yeah, using the GPS, I went back, but I was literally no path in the middle of the bush. 20 minutes, and then I got my way, found my way back to civilization.
You got lucky. No, but you have to do these things to learn some lessons sometimes.
Definitely. Yeah, I think I do take those risks when I'm by myself. If I'm risking someone else's life, I wouldn't do it. I would always step back. But if it's just me or someone that is likes the adventure as I like it, then I will go. If it's someone more less less ambitious in a way of the for the excitement, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take the risk.
I think
Um
into your next story, no?
yes, yes. So that takes me to the next story in Tasmania, where we actually met. So this is the summer 2020, January 2020, and then December 2020. In January, we went to Cradle Mountain, which is the biggest and maybe the no, I don't know if it's the only mountain in Tasmania, but is the highest for sure. We went there with a group of friends. The weather was horrible, horrible, very cold, windy, rain. The rain, because of the wind, it was hitting you and it was painful on your arms, on your face. Not nice at all.
Hmm.
Nevertheless, we got all the way. This is it. So Cradle Mountain is a huge, beautiful national park with a lake in there, and then you got all these little mountains, and then Cradle Mountain is the big one at the end. With my friends, we did the whole thing until the hut that is just before the last track when you get to the peak of the mountain. So we did all the way, very very long. We may have done it for like 3 4 hours. As I said, the weather was very rough, very unfriendly. And the group of people we had, there were some of them that they were well prepared for doing all these how do you call this,
Hmm.
trekking or rock climbing or all this. It wasn't like to do it under such a bad weather. It wasn't for them. So, for me, instead of pushing forward, go for the adventure, go for the risky things, instead of doing that, I was just paying attention to my group. Everyone's going well. No one's, you know, uh, tripping or falling, or like everyone is secure.
Hmm.
When we got to the hut just before the peak, to get to the peak, it was 40 minutes on rock climbing to get to the peak. Everyone around us, all the people there in the national park, was telling us it wasn't worth it because you couldn't see anything. And it was up in there, rock climbing. It was still very windy, rainy, and just not nice. Very, very difficult to get it done. So, we said, yeah, we're not going to do it. And there was one friend, very similar to me in the adventurous way, that he was pushing forward. Let's do it. Let's do it. We can do it. We got until this point. We can get to the peak. He wanted to do it, but he was thinking of himself. Maybe he was able to do it, but we had a group. You can, and we go back again to the same thing. You can't risk other people's life because you're able to do it, but you're in a group,
Hmm.
you know? So we said, no, we're not going to do it. He tried to do it by himself. And then just a few 10, 15 minutes later, he joined us back, and we just went all the way down. It was still a great adventure, as I said, we did the trekking for 3 hours and a half, 4 hours, still a long time, full day. you know Maybe we avoid that extra hour doing the peak, but it was way too risky. So that happened in January 2020. By December of 2020, we went back to the same national park, Cradle Mountain, back again, but this time it was only my adventurous friend and me.
Hmm.
All the rest of the group, they weren't there in Tasmania. So we go back again, and this time the weather is beautiful. The weather is sunny, nice, maybe some clouds, nothing, no rain, no wind, no cold. We go, we got everything done. We go back to the hut to start the rock climbing to get to the peak. So we're going back there, and I remember my friend pushing the others, the last time we were there. So I said, my friend, let's go now. Instead of following the flags, let's go freestyle. Let's go in the mountain. We go. We start climbing. We go by ourselves. We'll find a way. Then my friend says, no, no, I think you're joking, blah, blah, blah. Then I go, right, you like adventure, let's go. Let's do it. We ended up going for it. So when you're doing rock climbing, usually in a mountain, you got the flags. So you see the flags, you follow in the flags, so you follow the path. You don't get lost. When you do freestyle, it's extremely risky. You just don't follow the flags. You go by yourself, by your own risk. And yeah, it's completely, it's just, out in the mountain. We did that for like half an hour, completely lost, just going up. No flags, no direction. Until I remember my friend was very scared, saying, he gave up. He was like, it was too much of a risk. We were just going up, heading nowhere. I know I was going to stop at one point, but I just wanted to push him to see what it feels like. When you pushing someone, then that doesn't want to do it. Like I just wanted to feel that, show him a little bit of that. And then when he started saying like, we need to go back, we need to go back, shouting, I was having a bit of a laugh, because I know my friend is fit, is great doing the adventures, but at the same time this was risky. This is almost like a life death situation. I was looking back, climbing up the rocks. I was looking down, holy, and you see death. You're just going all the way down, kilometers. Like, this is you rolling down to death. So this is extreme.
Hmm.
And but anyways, we stop it there. We went for the first. We start looking for the flags, found the flag, and then we just reconnect with the track.
Hmm.
And then we ended up getting to the peak, and then we did everything. It ended up very well,
You got there safely in the end.
safely in the end. And those situations, extreme situations, when you feel death is so close to you. Oh, it's a very addictive. It's like people, when people do extreme sports,
Hmm.
you see, it's a really really addictive combination, because you see the high risk, but you are also in like full trust of yourself, full confidence. You
Yeah.
know why you're there. You can do that.
Do you ever
Maybe,
see the guys who climb the skyscrapers without any equipment,
yeah,
just with their hands?
that,
It's crazy.
that's crazy. Yes, 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 yes.
They get
You
banned
see,
trees for doing that.
maybe they feel something like that. I don't know. But for me in that situation, you know you feel uh highly alive.
Yeah, there's so much adrenaline. You're
Adrenaline, yes.
pumping. But did you feel
Yeah.
like you were really at risk in that situation?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, because the rocks. So when you following the track that everyone's following, the rocks are stable because everyone's stepping over them. Hundreds of people every day, so the track is secure. When you're doing freestyle, when you go in anywhere, maybe no, the last person that step up on the rock that you handling, it was 50 years ago. So then the rock is completely loose. So it's not just to climb; it's just to check which one is loose and which one is steady.
Hmm.
So it's way, it's a completely different mindset. You
Hmm.
really need to go check in everyone, and then you're gonna find many rocks that you just can't, you can't hold it. You touch it, it's loose. So then you need to take another direction. You freestyling step by step, checking that there's no dead end. No, no, no. It's just um, highly risky, highly risky. I wouldn't recommend it at all. No, you can always, like just follow the track, don't do stupid things. And the adrenaline and these situations, you can have it in the mountain. You don't need to push that. I did that a couple of times in my life, uh just because, um I don't know, you get blind by the excitement.
Do you think you would do it again?
Hopefully no, hopefully not, but it depends on the situation. Sometimes I always, every couple of years, I get myself into a similar situation.
You need an adrenaline rush.
Exactly, yeah, yeah, it happens every couple of years. It happens, but before it was happening very regularly. When I was teenager or early 20s, I was always doing something risky, and then with the years that slowed down. Mm.
Yeah, it's adrenaline is a hell of a drug, and I think it's something natural. Well, natural and unnatural, because it's natural in the sense that you don't need to take any kind of drug to feel this crazy rush to get all these
Yeah,
chemicals
yeah, yeah.
in your body. But unnatural because yeah, sometimes maybe we shouldn't do those things, you know.
Yeah, you feel it makes you feel, invincible, that you can handle anything, um nerves made of steel. But at the same time, if it goes wrong, then everything that you were feeling is bullshit, because you're gone. you know you feel amazing until something fails.
No risk, no reward, as they say.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's why, I think when you meet a situation like this, you make the most. That's it. But don't do it all the time.
Hmm.
You know, that's it. Keep it. Take the memories. You did it once. It was a stupid thing to do. You did it once. You got lucky. That's it. Don't repeat it.
Hmm.
Don't go back. Don't push your luck.
Don't push your luck. That's for sure. No,
Yeah.
I think I would love to do a bit more hiking. I think I've always been so cautious of my health. Like I never felt like I've been particularly ready to go and do hikes, which is kind of like self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't do hikes, then you're never going to be ready to do a hike.
Hmm.
So not a particularly special story, but last year when I was in I arrived to when I was in La Patagonia in Argentina, I'd taken the 31-hour bus from Bariloche down to first I got to Calafate. This is more just a lesson of do a bit of research, because I so you go from Bariloche and first you pass by El Chalten and then you go to El Calafate. I decided to stay in El Calafate for 3 or 4 days, but there's only Glacier Perito Moreno. There's only like one thing to do. But in Chalten, it's a national park, like a free national park. You can go and hike for days and days.
Yeah.
So I'd I was arriving there in the morning from going from Calafate to Chalten, and I only had one day. So I arrived there at like 11 or 12 in the morning, and I had to go and do the hike like straight away, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't see anything. And you shouldn't really be there. I think the hike, the trail shuts at like 6:30, so I only had maybe 6 hours to do the hike. So pretty much I'd go to the hostel, drop my stuff, and then go straight away. I didn't bring any food with me for the day. I
Oh,
just brought like 2 liters of water, and I started doing the hike. And this was the first hike that I'd done in a long time, maybe 1 or 2 years or something. So I start, and the first part was a lot of uphill, and it was really like fuck. The first hour was very difficult, and then I was maybe at the second hour, um, I bumped into a couple from the United States, and we ended up doing pretty much the rest of the walk together. They were really interesting people, and we got to we finally got to the midpoint, to the viewpoint, and it was really stunning. It was like, wow, this walk was so worth it. To see what we saw, it was the best choice I could have made. And they gave
nice.
me some like some dried apricots to keep me going, and I drank some water from the lake, so it was really good. And I made it back before the sunset, so it was good. Um, but yeah, that was just more a story about being prepared, because in that place there's so many hikes you can do, and I chose to be in the place that there's nothing to do for 3 days, and then go for one day and just try and do this hike straight away. But in the end, it was worth it. It was good.
Definitely, yeah. For me, I think usually what I like to do is just go for the easy ones. Start with the easy ones anywhere I go, because it's not about like win. It's not a competition or like a something that you need to beat the most difficult trekking.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Anywhere you go, it's about to enjoying the place. I always plan to do Nepal with my dad. We're still planning on doing it. We haven't done it yet. Um, but my idea going with him is just to go for. There's so many tracks there. Just to do all the long, easy ones.
Mhm.
Nothing too risky, nothing too crazy. Just go and enjoy. I think there's like this general thought, this general idea that you have to go for the big boss. You have to go for the big one. And it's not like, some people will enjoy it, some
Mhm.
others they won't. So you can do whatever you want. um so yeah, just to get that idea out of the way, get rid of it, and just it's more about enjoying the place. And then you need to know where to start.
Mhm.
If you've never done a trekking before, better just start with the simple ones, with the easy ones. Then you start getting used to it. Understand how it works. How much water you need to bring, how much food you need to this and that, and then you start going for longer hours, maybe camping and this, but progressive. You
Mhm.
start from the start, and then you grow as you wish into it.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you want to finish up with one more story?
Yes, this takes me. What we're talking is actually related to my following story. So back again in Tasmania. This was, I think it was March 2021, around March 2021, maybe February 2021. Um, we went to some caves. It's called Honeycomb Caves. It's like an ant nest. The caves. So the caves, you go under the level of the ground level, just go a couple of meters under, and then it actually stays flat, the underground. It doesn't continue to go deeper. It gets basically underground, and the deepest is flat. But then you start getting different caves. You start getting more options to continue. Oh, that place was beautiful. We did it with a big group again, maybe 10 people, something like that. Friends from the hostel I was staying at that time. So we did a camping, and then maybe 1:30 in the morning, we went to the caves. We took our lights, we go to the caves, underground, and then we start the exploration, the adventure. The whole group, beautiful, having a great time, videos, taking picture, all good. There was this guy from the States that was very uh arrogant, or maybe his ego was too big. Problem was, he was similar, like a similar attitude like my friend, but this was way worse. He was right at the top by himself when the group was all behind, everyone going slowly, everyone, being secure, responsible. This guy was right at the top by himself. And then before we got into the cave, he was talking about how much he knew about the caves. Like he can read a cave, he could read a cave, uh, like his hand. So natural for him. This is a piece of cake. It's he can actually guide us, help us. Like this guy was, out of his mind. With the ego was bigger than the cave. So like this guy is going forward. Even we can't even see him. He's going that far that we can't even see him. And then we continue with the caves, going. You start to get all these bifurcations. So you need to remember which one you took before. There was two, you take the left. Then there was three, you take the middle. Then there was two, you take the right. You need to remember the way back.
Hmm.
you know so we're doing all this until you get to the point, like every cave, you get to the point where the caves start getting dangerous. You start to find holes into the void. Like this is, like, kilometers down, like it's just a dark hole, and things like this. The caves start getting more difficult. At this point, I see that the situation, this is too risky. So we stop the group, and then this guy, the one that was at the front, disappear. He's nowhere to be seen. We shout to him. He's not answering. I don't know where he is. But the cave is already too dangerous to keep going with the 10 people group, with the 9, because it was this guy at the front. So we only stay 3 of us, 2 friends and me and myself, and then we sent everyone back to the camping. Everyone goes back, and the 3 of us, we continue on the risky area. Like literally we're going on the edge. There's like, like back again, like this is life death situation. You're
Hmm.
taking big risk. And then we continue a little bit more, and then there was one exit of the cave going into deep bush, just going into forest. And then this guy was in that bush shouting for help. He took that exit completely lost, and he was shouting in the forest looking for someone to help him.
Yeah.
Completely lost. So you see the guy that was talking about how good he was on the caves, that this and that, blah 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 blah, completely lost. If we didn't continue a little bit more and find it, I don't know what we would have to do to find him. Anyways, we found him. We go the way back, but now we need to remember everything. We need to remember all the way that we did before. We continue this. It was this right. It was this left. We go, we go, and we get to into this big chamber, big area in the cave. When you got, I think we had 4 different options, 4 different alternatives to follow to go back.
Hmm.
But we're not quite sure which one is the right one. So we take the first one. It's not the first one. Take the second. Take the third. Take the fourth. None of them is the right one. None of them is taking us. If they're going down or they're going somewhere else. They're not going back. So we're in the middle of the chamber, doing brainstorming, like doing what, how do we go back? Something is not working here. We stay there. 15, 20 minutes looking for another way, because the four channels, the four caves that we're seeing, they're not taking us back.
Yep.
So there must be a fifth or a sixth somewhere, and that's the way to go back. So we start looking for 20 minutes, just looking which one was the way to get back, and we finally found it. It was you have to go up a hill and then down a hill. This was a big chamber. Up a hill, down the hill, and then you could see the way back. We finally found it. We went back to the camping, and we stopped. We couldn't stop mocking the American guy, you know. Yeah, we was we went back to the camping, the bushfire, to the fire ground where everyone was there, and then we were screaming. We brought back the cave master. The cave master is here. We brought him back, and the guy was very ashamed, very ashamed.
I think it's a good reminder to always stay humble.
Stay humble, and don't be reckless. Don't be reckless when you're with people. You putting people's life on risk. It's just so bad. It's bad for you, but then worse for the others.
Yeah, like
Very
it's one thing if you're doing it by yourself, but when you're putting other people at risk, it's not fair.
too bad. But was a good. Again, was a good rush. We did it. We ended up, you know, rescuing this guy. No one got hurt. We didn't get lost in the cave. So it ended up well. It ended up great. Actually, we had a great time. But it's also connected. This story is also connected with the next morning. So we were camping there outside the cave. We finish the night, go to bed, wake up. We're making breakfast in the campground, and then next to the camping area, you had a hill that was full of bush, and my friends, everyone was having breakfast there. So I went into the bush, up the hill, and I'm just exploring by myself. I can always, from what I'm doing, the going uphill, I can always listen to the campground, so I know how to go back. All
Mhm.
the time I go in deep into the bush, I can always listen to them, so I know how to go back.
Mhm.
So I keep going up the hill, into the bush, going slowly, quiet, getting there until I get to the top of the hill, and then it becomes flat. And it's no more a bush. It's no more bush like all these little plants and stuff. Now it's a forest.
Okay.
Long, long trees, no more bush, and it's flat and long. I still have an idea how to go back, but I don't listen to them anymore. I'm up the hill now. The campground is far away.
Yeah, yeah.
Walking around there, enjoying just being in the nature, completely quiet. No, not making any noise, just being part of the forest. Beautiful, beautiful. The quietness, it's just so nice. And I'm just happy with that. That's it. And and I'm start hearing steps that are not my steps. So I'm listening to these steps. And the thing in Tasmania, you got the wallabies. So for those that doesn't know what a wallaby is a small kangaroo, but it moves exactly the same as a kangaroo. It jumps. So you don't hear steps. You hear the jumps. So what I'm listening at that moment in the forest, it's steps, not jumps. So
Mm.
I'm thinking there's
It,
someone else here.
it was a Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah, something's going on, because this is not a wallaby. This is another animal, or this is a person, and it's walking around here. I can hear the steps, and I continue going very quiet, listening to this until I turn around, and what's coming, walking towards me, is a deer.
Mm.
It's a male deer with the horns, beautiful. You can see all the white dots and the hairy horns.
And
Beautiful, beautiful.
antlers. Antlers.
Hmm?
Deers have antlers.
Antelopes, yes.
Antlers. Yeah.
And yeah, I just get frozen, I get frozen, and this guy is walking towards me, but because I'm too quiet, he's looking at the ground. He's not paying attention to me. So he's looking at the ground until he looks up, he sees me, he jumps out, opposite direction, boom, explosion. He jumps out away. Pew, you give it 10 seconds, 15 seconds, he's gone.
Going,
Yoom, into the forest.
yeah.
Oof, I felt the adrenaline rushing up. I got really scared of the horns. Those horns, they weren't a joke. That's that's arms. That's something threatening.
Hmm.
Um, so I run downhill, I run to the hill, I run downhill, going to the bush, and then I'm starting when I'm running down, I realize the deer, the antelope, just ran away, disappeared in 20 seconds. He's gone. But
Yeah.
I was still running down, like going the adrenaline, the scareness, I was so scared.
You were
Oh,
scared of the deer.
yes, 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 yes. The horns. Even that he didn't show a glimpse of uh aggressiveness, anything. He jumped out of the way, boom, gone.
Hmm.
Nothing. He was only maybe 3 meters away from me. But he
Hmm.
jumped out and disappeared in 20 seconds. Still the adrenaline rush was huge, man. I was running down, and then when I'm running down, I'm starting to laugh because it was, there was no risk, there was no danger. He disappeared in nothing. But it was a great experience. The
Hmm.
thing was, so these antelopes, or the deers, they're not native in Tasmania. That's why I wasn't expecting to see an animal like this at all. They're not native. The English took them there in Tasmania for hunting. They took them for hunting, for sport hunting. But then, of course, you get one deer going into the national park. No one's gonna hunt him, and then he start getting babies, and then that's it. Invasive species, and then they have a problem in Tasmania. But we didn't know about that. No one knew that that animal was in Tasmania. So it
Okay.
was a crazy surprise. Like if out of nowhere you got an elephant there, like you're not expecting that. That shouldn't be there.
I feel like you might be a bit more surprised if you saw an elephant in Tasmania.
Probably you're right. Probably you're right. But yeah, yeah, that's the beauty of when you're traveling, traveling in backpacker, in the ratio of less than 24 hours. We were trying to find the way back in the middle of this cave, and then the next morning you facing this animal in the forest, and then during this whole time you just camping with your friends, mate. It can't be better.
Yeah. Yeah. The beauties of nature.
Yeah. So that summer, January 2021, sorry, March 2021, I finished with Tasmania. It's getting cold, so I'm out. The thing in Australia is a huge country. It's very big. So in
Mhm.
Tassie, in March, it's cold. Winter is starting. So cold, mate. So what do? I take a flight all the way up to Darwin. Darwin is in the middle of Australia, like in the middle up north,
Mhm.
to try make, if we can give them an idea to the people listening. So in the middle, all the way up on the shore, I go to Darwin. Darwin in winter, which is the middle of the year, winter in Darwin is 29 degrees, 30 degrees. It's just beautiful, dry summer.
Mhm.
Super nice. So I escaped from the cold of Tasmania, went to Darwin. Lovely. Super nice. I stay there. I arrived there. I arrived 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. Go to the hostel very late. Go to bed. Got it done somehow. Wake up the next morning. I'm starting my time holidays in Darwin. Nothing to do, no plans, just to relax. 1 week, 2 weeks, and then look for a job. Start over again. My first morning, I'm in the hostel, and you got all these signs on the wall with different jobs and things, like car selling, house renting, all different information. And then there was one sign that said fishing boat looking for crew. So I said, look at that fishing boat. They didn't say how much they were paying. So I said, I thought might as well give them a call, see how much money they pay. You know, maybe in the future I can do the experience, go on a fishing boat. Give them a call, and then the guy picking up, he answering, he goes, "Let me pick you up, and I'll show you the boat." And I was like, "Yeah, might as well. Okay, sounds all right." He picks me up, goes to the hostel, picks me up, takes me to the boat. I met the captain there in the boat, and then the captain is all this general information. It's all about this from Taiwan. The captain say this is very easy job, very easy job. And then the money was like it depends on how much we fish. That's what my only interest was to know how much you can make. So then the only thing that he says is this could take us 2 weeks top, and then we need to fill up the ship. Basically, you fill it up, or you run out of fuel, and then you can always go back, and then that's it, one or the other. But top is only 14 days, and then whatever we make, we split it in percentages. The captain gets more, and then how do you call it, hand deck, I think it was my position.
The deckhand.
Deckhand. Deckhand, you get a smaller percentage, and that's it. I was like, all right, information, that's good. Maybe in the future, who knows. And then the captain goes, we leaving tonight. Like, who's leaving tonight? It's like, yeah, you coming, come on, let's go, it's easy, we go tonight. It's like, no. I was like, what? They because I went there to check the boat and the whole thing. They took it as I was accepting the job, and then I got into this situation that I have to say no. I'd say no, sorry, it was a misunderstanding, blah blah blah. But I didn't say that. I couldn't say that. I said, you want to leave in like tonight? No. Let's leave tomorrow morning. Let me stay one day in Darwin. And they say, okay, tomorrow morning we pick you up from the hostel. We go on the fishing boat. And I say yes. I didn't think that I didn't want to think. I just took the impulse and I just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I stayed less than a day in Darwin, and I went into this boat, which I didn't know anyone for more like a couple of maybe 1-2 hours with the captain and this guy that picked me up, and we went up in the ocean. One day sailing into open water. We got there. I put my luggage, all my luggage that I just brought from Tasmania. I put it in the boat, and then we went one day, just sailing open water. We got to the spot, and then we around this area, we're picking up cages full of fish, and then we just putting some new bait and then dropping back into water. Basically, it's this circuit. You're picking up cages and then you're dropping them back again. And I stay there 8 days, I think it was.
8 days.
8 days. We had a storm. Unreal. You in these jobs, it's not like a normal job. Normal job, you do 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever you do, 4 hours. When you start and when you finish. When you're in a fishing boat, you're always working. There's no start and stop. You stop for sleeping. You got your 8 hours of sleeping. You got lunch and breakfast and dinner, but you're always working.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stop. And yeah, man, out of nowhere, I was supposed to have 1 week or 2 weeks holidays in Darwin, and not even 2 days done. I'm in the middle of the ocean, being a fisherman.
Yeah.
That was so random, but it was amazing. It's just something out of the blue. that could happen, and you just take it. You go for the adventure.
Would you do it again in Perth?
No, no
No, no.
way, no way. Way too risky. Way too risky. In these fishing boats, at least the one that I went, there's no there's no security in regards PPE or the right techniques on this. You're just fishermen. Fishermen, you do your job. Whatever happens, it happens. This is the wild water. So you always risking a lot. I got hit in the head by a box full of fish. Nothing happened, luckily. Um I was walking with two iron bars on my arms. And because my legs were full scratch because of all the fish, so I took my boots off because I was in too much pain on my feet because of the gum boots and all the scratches I had. So I was barefoot, walking with two iron bars. I fall on the ground because it was slippery, of course. Go on the ground, two iron bars on my arms. I got blue arms, like all this was blue, both arms. I don't know
From
how I
bruise.
didn't break. Huh?
They were so bruised. Your both of your arms were so bruised.
Blue, like the heat got them red, blue. Just the heat. But my bones didn't break. I don't know. Man. It was a huge hit. They didn't break. And then the worst. So the cages
Mm.
under the water, they have a floater. They were tied to a rope 100 meters down in the water, deep in the water. Yeah. And then on the surface, this rope was attached to a floater. So from the ship, you see the floater, you throw an anchor, you hook the anchor, you hook the anchor on the floater, yes, and then you pull the rope into the boat,
Hmm.
and then you need to attach the rope into a pole. That
Okay.
the pole is being running by the engine of the ship. So then you pull up all the way. You pull up the cage all the way using the pole that is being engine, you know, that has been working with the engine of the ship. I got my hand stuck in the pole. It went in there when I was trying to hook the cage, and I destroy my glove. I had two gloves in my hand, and I cut them both gloves, and my hand survived by miracle.
So lucky.
Lucky many times. I always say, don't push your luck, but I pushed my luck a few times. Not good.
But then after the boat, you also had an accident because you couldn't. I remember you couldn't work for a couple of months in Darwin. No.
What happened after the boat? I went to a sandalwood plantation. In this sandalwood plantation, we were pulling weeds, and the weeds were getting an allergy on people,
Hmm.
and they got me super bad. I was full of like a Dalmatese, like a dog, with all the black inks, but
A
red.
Dalmatian. Dalmatian.
Dalmatian, yes. I was completely full of this strong allergy, all my body, and I remained with all these marks, bro, for like, I don't know, 2 months or so. I was
Hmm.
bad. That allergy was way worse than whatever happened to me in the fishing boat. In the fishing boat, I was way luckier than with the allergy. With the allergy, I was messed up. But you see, constantly there's always something happening. When you're doing adventures all the time. I remembered this wasn't my mate at the time. I had another one, but I had a mate in the fishing boat. And when we had some breaks, I was going to the front of the ship, making some mate, drinking my mate, in the middle of the ocean. There's no ships, there's nothing, there's no building, island, nothing, no civilization, no signal, nothing. It's just you, the four mates that you're in the ship, no one else.
Yeah.
Universe is gone. You're in this new planet. It's just water. I'm drinking my mate in the front of the ship, looking at the infinite water. And from time to time, you can see out of the water, you can see flying fish, like a school of flying fish jumping out of the water. And they don't fly, they grating couple of meters and then going down in the water again. So I'm drinking the tea that I drink all my life in this middle of the ocean, and I'm seeing bloody fishes flying. You know, it's you at that point you're not sure if that's a dream or if that's actually real life,
Yeah.
because it looks more like a dream than real life. Um, yeah, those are amazing experience. That's priceless. And then for those moments, um all the risks, or the money I was making in the fishing boat, it's not important.
Hmm.
Those are the moments that you keep with you forever, because you can't I think you can't plan that. It's
100%.
difficult to plan those such a unique situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made it back. I made it back after those 7 days at the fishing boat. Was a great experience, risky, very painful. My legs and my arms were full of scratches because we were fishing big fish. The fish are like 5 kilos each, and they're full strength. They're alive.
Yeah.
So very painful. Made the way back, and then the captain goes, "So we're gonna rest for 3 days. You can stay in the ship. You can stay in the boat 3 days, and then we go back again." I look at him and I laugh. I laugh. I was so tired. I still laugh. I look at him. I thank him for the whole experience and everything. I told him there is no way in the world that I'm going back again there. This is one time life experience. I'm never going back again. And then he goes back, like, but it's easy job, easy job. Come on, let's go, easy money. I was like, I'll go again. Thank you so much for the experience. Was amazing. Was unreal. I will remember this for the rest of my life. There's no fucking way I'm going back there. There's no way I'm going back there. And that was it. We both laugh. We say goodbye, and that was it, man. That was it.
Hmm.
Yes.
I'm sure he has to try it with everyone. Sometimes you get people who will agree to go back, but I think that job is not for many people.
No, and then the seasick. I met an English girl in Darwin that she went to the same boat that I went. She went there on the first day. She got seasick. So those 2 weeks of work, she stayed in bed, puking.
On the
That's it.
boat.
Yeah, yeah, feeling sick, nothing. She couldn't work, so she got no money.
Damn.
Then she went back to inland. That's it. Just it didn't work out.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But you at the same time you don't know until you try. So
I don't know. I don't like to recommend people to take the risks that I took, but for me, we go back again into this adrenaline rush, into this, this living these uh experiences, that makes you feel so alive, that you just you appreciate more time, life, everything, because you're doing something very special in all
mhm,
the stories that we share. So they all have a risk. So if you ask me, I wouldn't suggest to do any of the things that I did. Go into a fishing boat. Don't do it. Too risky. Go feed a shark in the water. Don't do it. Too risky. Go in the middle. Explore a cave. Maybe yes, but don't go too much deep into it.
Don't go running off by yourself.
Yes, and then with the mountain, follow the flags. Don't do stupid things. Yeah,
Yes, 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 yes. But you have to live a little as well. So you don't do these things, you don't get to live.
exactly, exactly. It's up to you. That's what when it's up to me, and I'm not putting anyone in danger. When it's up to me, you know, it's risky, but I would take it.
I would still recommend if people see a python laying around, they should go and pick it up.
We can get to the conclusion of this episode that pythons are super friendly,
Python,
beautiful. Yes, go and
python.
grab it. It's so good. Just be sure it's a python and it's not a brown snake or anything else.
Yeah, that's the part that you have to be sure of.
Um,
So I did leave this open for a question and A, but I only received one question, and that happened to be from your mum. And that question was for both of us, I guess. How much do you miss your mum?
mm, yeah, I would say yes. Yes.
You would
Um,
say,
but it's more about missing your whole family.
Mhm,
For me, it's not a. I wouldn't say my mom's or my dad's. It's the whole thing. When you leave your country, you know, you continuing your life by yourself, and then everyone else is sort of left behind.
mhm,
Um, but it's a decision that you take. I think we spoke about this. Like, you need to be sure that with the decisions you take. So you're gonna miss your family and your friends, of course. Um, but if you're sure with the decision that you take, you win some, you lose some.
mhm,
But I would say it's good to miss. It's good to miss your mom. It's good to miss your family, because you realize, the appreciation that you have for them, the feelings.
mhm. Yeah, I think you put it very well. Of course, I miss my mum. Of course, I miss the rest of my whole family. I think the hardest ones is are the little ones in the family. The kids
Yeah,
growing up. It's
definitely agree.
it's harder to be so far away from them, but you know, we have our moments with them. We get to spend time with them. Obviously, you're going to be there for a month spending time with your family, so I'm sure you're
Yes.
looking forward to that. Is your dad going to be there this year?
My dad's gonna be there, my sister's gonna be there, and this actually it's gonna be a surprise for my family. No one knows that I'm going back. So we
All
need
right.
to we need to post this episode
This
just
comes out on
before.
the 31st.
Huh?
This comes out on the 31st. It's okay.
31st. Yeah, that's good.
On
I'll
Tuesday.
be I'll be there by that time, so it's good. Imagine if you posted before and then my mom sees it and then the whole surprise is ruined. That would have been funny.
Funny. It's a good thing
Oh,
we can do the live stream today then.
yes, yes. I didn't think of that actually. Yeah. So good that we didn't do it.
Yes. Next time though, people, we will be doing a live stream sometime in the next few months when we work out how to do it. We'll
Excellent.
get that going.
That's
But yes, it's always lovely to catch up with you, chat with you, and share stories. So next time I'll make sure to have some more stories prepared. Uh,
perfect. That sounds great.
and yeah, do you want to throw any questions at me before I wanted to ask you about your if you have any resolutions for next year?
Um Next year I will continue with this normal style of life now, still living in Perth. I need to finish my studies, keep the healthy life, going to the gym, and keep that. I had a few injuries playing football the last few weeks, so I would like to go back into proper cardio resistance. But it's just like I'm saying, just normal life situations. There's no big things. I'm still, because I'm attached to Perth doing my studies. So there's no big plans. Hopefully there could be any any trips in the middle of the year, here and there. If it happens, happens. But then, mm, pretty sure it's just gonna be another year of studying, getting it done, looking for the PR, bit by bit. That's the long term uh project or goal that I'm chasing.
Hmm.
And yeah, I know that maybe in a couple of years, hopefully, I can go back to those crazy stories, live them back again. Maybe not that risky, but just to have a look. Go and see what's there out there.
Yeah. When you have your freedom, you have your PR, and you have your freedom, you can go do what you want.
Exactly, exactly. What about you for next year?
Next year, I think I also have some fitness goals that I really want to work on. I really want to take better care of myself. I think that should always be a priority. Really going to focus on sobriety for the next few months and just keeping my head on straight. And yeah, taking care of myself, I think, should be the priority. Later in the year, I'll get to see my family, hopefully, and see some friends in Europe. And then aside from that, work out the ongoing travel plans from there. I'd like to see some new countries next year.
Okay.
But nothing. No, I haven't written worked out specific goals, but I think before the new year, I'll work some things out that I'd like to achieve by the end of 2025.
That's very good. I like to. I think it would be too much to like try to schedule the whole year. Like this month and this month. Um, but to have some goals for the year, I think is something good. I think at least it works for me. To know your goals, what you
Yeah.
want to achieve this year, 3 things, 4 things, and then you chase them through the year.
Hmm.
It works for me. I think it works for you as well. It's something good to do. Have some guidance through the year.
I think we have actually talked about this before, about the whole like you write down 20 things that you want, your 20 goals, and then you break that down into 10 and then into 5 and then into your top 3. I think we've spoken about this before, no?
I think so. Yeah.
I think
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
a good strategy to work out like the more general things that you want to achieve and then focus down onto the 3 main things, and kind of the other things should hopefully come into play with that as well.
True.
So, do you
Very good.
have any last questions for me before I ask you the last few?
Um. No, if you feel like going more into your stories the next time, we can always do another special. And because I was really eager to share with you these little adventures I had. But we can always do another one, another special. And yeah, if you wanna gather some stories through your time in, I'm very sure that you would have some stories through your time in South America, in Australia as well.
Hmm.
There must be some good stories there. And but to cut it in half, we got this one done now, and then we start another one, and then yeah.
I think it's always going to be the pattern. We'll do one episode for you, one episode for me, one episode for me.
Seems
I,
like it. Yeah.
I think I'm also not a very good storyteller. That's another problem. I have some really cool stories, but telling them is the harder part. I think you tell stories really well.
Hmm. Thank you for that. But we can definitely prepare yours.
You know
we
that
do
you're
we do a bit of homework before we get it ready, and we go for it.
yes. And at some point, we'll work out how to do this live episode too. Um, and yeah, it will be really cool. So thank you for that. You're always welcome here.
Thank you so much for the invitation, as usual. And there was a question from the last episode.
Yes, so we have the last 3
Okay.
questions for you today. So a
Uh-huh.
question from a mutual friend of ours, Lenny, um,
Yes.
was in 2025, which place do you want to visit the most and why?
Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. Probably no. I would say if I'm realistic, but I would. What I mentioned before, going to Nepal with my dad. That's a trip that I want to do years ago,
Hmm.
and we keep postponing it. I know there's gonna be the right time eventually, but we keep postponing it. I think that's if you tell me, okay, so you can do whatever you want right now, I would do that
Hmm.
regardless anything. I would like to go to other countries and like discovering and doing all that. Yes, but that trip is what I got there. In my bucket list, number one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
When do you finish your course? You finish around September time?
I finish in April 2026.
Ah, okay, okay. I thought that you were finishing. I got confused. I thought it was 18 months, that course.
It's 24.
24 months, yeah.
Yes.
Nearly halfway.
Yeah, nearly halfway. It's easy, as long as you pay attention, you do all your assessments. Um, it's not a big deal. You just need to be just a little bit responsible and be patient. Again, that's the word. Be patient, get it done, don't rush. And when you realize it's almost done, 1 year in the pocket, another one to go, and then that's it.
Freedom.
Yes.
What question would you like to ask our next guests?
Yes. So coming with all these the stories that we were talking about, what makes you feel alive the most, or which situation in the past, which situation made you feel alive the most?
Mhm.
It could be something that happened already, or it could be something that could happen in the future.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's the question. That's the question.
And finally, the last time I asked you, you weren't sure what to tell me for a message in your language. So do you have one prepared for today?
It's always difficult for me. To look for a phrase in Spanish. I remember the episode that you did with the was it the guy from Uruguay?
Jose.
Yes, he had a great message in Spanish. That
Hmm.
was great. I was thinking when I was listening to that, I was like, damn, that's a good message. I can't, I need to think something like that next time I'm in the podcast. Um, but the only thing I can think of is just a little one, and it's a song, and it's from Cerati, which is a Argentinian artist, passed away many years ago, still one of the greatest. And his phrase is "Siempre es hoy." Siempre es hoy is an abstract phrase. If you translate it literally in English, that would be always is today, or today is always.
It's
Sort of
always.
like it's always today. Live the present, like something like that. I like it. There is a song with Siempre Soy, but also the phrase is so you got so much meaning. You can dig up so much meaning into it, and it's so short as well. It's literally 3 words. That's it, and it's infinite. The meaning within them. So yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
It's always today because tomorrow never comes. As soon as the clock strikes midnight, it's today again.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So that's a meaning. Yeah, that's my phrase. Simple, but I think it's nice, and uh, it sounds good in Spanish. Siempre soy. Sounds poetic as well.
Yes, very much so. Well, I won't hold you any longer. I know that you have to pack your stuff ready for your trip.
Get
So,
ready. Yeah.
on that note, I would like to wish everyone a happy New Year's. I hope everyone enjoys their New Year's Eve. If anyone watches this before the New Year's, I hope everyone achieves the things that they want to in 2025. If anyone is interested in making an episode with me, please reach out. I'm always more than happy to. And to you, Santi, thank you for being a part of this project from the start. And I look forward to the 4th episode whenever we get that organized. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for everyone to listening. And yeah, Merry Christmas. That happened just a few days ago. And Happy New Year. And all the best to everyone for this next year ahead. Thank you again for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. This has been episode 22 of Backpacks and Stories.